Few aspects of West Africa's colonial history have received such scant attention in relation to its importance as the impact of the First World War on French West Africa. The large-scale revolts against recruitment for European front, which nearly lost France control of her West African empire, have gone largely unnoticed. While the war had much more impact on French West Africa than on the four British colonies, it nevertheless marked for them too an important stage in their colonial history. Their direct involvement in the European politics of their colonial masters. This war too was a turning point in colonial history. The eventual suppression of a wide-scale revolts against the French during the war marked the end of an era of pacification and the beginning of an era of intensive administration. The same is true for British West Africa, which also had its revolts during the First World War. Though it is difficult to attribute their cause directly to the war, after 1918, the British colonies were little troubled by armed opposition from their colonial subjects. From then until the outbreak of the Second World War, the colonial rulers were able to consolidate their administration. Free from armed opposition by the traditional political leaders and untroubled by opposition from the modern political leaders whose voices, when heard, rarely criticized the colonial governments. This study of the impact of the First World War on West Africa will consider first the military role played on African soil by the West African colonies and what has been described as Great European Civil War. Once war had been declared in Europe, the governments of the colonies belonging to the Allied powers, France and Britain, had to decide what to do about the Germans in Togo and Cameroon. Strategically, Cameroon possessed one of the finest deep-water ports in West Africa, Douala, whilst in Togo, the Kamina wireless transmitter was vital for communication with the South Atlantic. From the German point of view, Sierra Leone, with its deep-water port and coaling station, used a staging base for troop ship and food ship from Britain to the Antipodes and Far East, was the most important strategically. Now, the Germans in Togo were in no position to defend themselves. They had pathetically small forces at their disposal in relation to the immediate neighbors, the Gold Coast and French West Africa. What was more, Nigeria's capital Lagos was within easy sailing distance of the Cotonou or the Accra and just over a week's march away. In Cameroon, even though their troops at the disposal of the Germans were greatly outnumbered by those of the Allied territories surrounding them, Nigeria, French Equatorial Africa, and effectively French West Africa, with Belgium Congo nearby, the lack of roads and mountainous nature of the terrain favored them. The European War in West Africa. Colonialism is crazy. Make sure you pick up your Conscious Community's first Pan-African journal, Killmonger's Corner, out on Amazon. And stay tuned for tomorrow's show. It's going to be a good one. Like, share, subscribe to the Mossi Warrior Clan YouTube channel. Tell a friend, tell a friend. Black African Power.